Very good afternoon to all of you. I welcome all of you in the national workshop on case study analysis and presentation. Thank you so much for your interest, and I'll just go ahead with the presentation, and at the end we can have some question answer session. Thank you once again for your active participation in today's national workshop. If we look back the history of case study, so let me start with a little bit of fundamental stuff as far as case study is concerned, then we can get into the depth of case study analysis and presentation. Case study is the most popular, one of the most popular methods in teaching learning process as far as business education is concerned. It started in 1924 in Harvard Business School, and since then it has become very, very popular. In almost, not only in MBA program, even in social sciences and other streams also, case studies are extensively used. If you look at the case study is a real life situation, right? Company faced the situation at one point of time, then we try to analyze the case study and try to come out with the problem and give some suggestions or recommendations for implementation to that particular problem. So many people, there are many controversies also as far as case study is concerned. Many people say that case study is like no post-mortem analysis. Something already happened in a different socio-economic environment. That time it was a different situation altogether. The challenges were completely different in the industry. Okay, but today we're analyzing that case and there are so many changes in the industry. So how we can relate, okay, how we can relate the two different scenarios. But that's the one way of giving argumentation to case study. But having said that, case study is still one of the best ways to understand the concepts in business education. It is the most popular method in the teaching learning process. Now, if you look at the case studies, again, there are different kinds of case studies. What is generally done in the business schools, that's the caselet, right? Small case is given, maybe of around 250 or 300 words case, and it comes with some questions, and students need to go through, analyze this, and come out with some answer to those questions. So questions are themselves are the problems. So problems are already identified in the caselet, right? And students need to give the solution. But in general, the case study which is originally done in many business schools, it doesn't come with any questions at the end, right? And it will be around 200, 300 pages long case, and students need to get 1 day, 2 day time to go through that complete text and first come out with the problems, identifying the problems. I think that is the major challenge in case of any case studies. Whether the students can differentiate between the problem and symptoms. I think that's very, very important. Okay, what is the problem and what is the symptom? If we can identify the difference between problem and symptoms, I think much of our work is done. We'll come into in later part into this particular aspect. There are many different kinds of case studies are there today, right? And today video cases are very, very popular, right? In many business schools, video case studies are given, wherein students need to watch the video and come out with the problem and the solutions. There are audio case studies also, right? So there are different formats of cases. And as I said before, I think this is the best way to connect with the real-time situation in the industry, because many students, those who enter into the business education, they don't have any prior industry experience, right? So how to connect, how to bring the industry in the classroom? I think that's the major challenge. There are so many ways, okay, we can do that. We can take the students to industry. We can bring some corporate, okay, as an expert lecture through internship projects. So different ways students can connect with the real time, real life situation, what is happening in the industry. But again, I think case study is a very popular way wherein we can really, it's a kind of simulation exercise wherein students can understand the industry well. They can get into the problem and find out the solutions and how to implement that, those solutions into real life situation. Now, a few just thoughts on the case studies before we go into the presentation. See, what is very important for any manager, it's very important to take a decision. And what do we do in the case study? Each student or each one of us, we need to put ourselves in the shoes of one manager, and from the perspective of a manager, we need to analyze the case, not as a student or as an individual, right? That's very fundamental thing. And manager every now and then has to take a decision. So decision is very, very important. Suppose if I don't want to take any decision, then also I have to decide, right? That I will not take any decision for this particular, functions or activity. I think decision is very, very important. So first of all of us, all the students and those who are analyzing a particular case, we need to put ourselves in the shoes of a manager. So that's one. And there is a common tendency whenever any case study is given, immediately students want to find out what could be the problems, okay, all those stuff immediately at the initial stage. So what I say that, look at the jungle, right? Not at the tree. That means whenever any case is given, just study the case as a story, right? As a story. Go through the complete text. Try to have a feeling of what exactly is given out there. So look at the jungle. Don't try to find out the problem in the beginning itself. That's another checkpoint. The third checkpoint is we need to find out this particular case is related to which company, what kind of business operation the company has, what is its turnover for the last few years, what kind of challenges the company has, who are the board of directors or senior level management positions, who are the competitors. So essentially what we need to do at this particular stage, we need to look at the particular industry. If it is an IT company, we need to look at the IT industry as a whole, how the company is doing. If the company is situated in India, we need to look at the overall economic situation, the socio-economic conditions, the political conditions in India, because everything has some bearing. That's why we say when we do any case studies, we need to do the PEST analysis. That's very, very important. Political, economical, social, and technological analysis of that particular environment, because that has a lot of bearing on that. So industry analysis, the company analysis, very, very important. Now, once we do that, we need to find out who is the protagonist. That means who is the main actor, who is responsible to take a call to address a particular problem. I think that's very important. Now, once we find out who is the protagonist or who is the main actor, the next stage is we need to find out, or we need to come out that what exactly the problem the company is facing. Now here, most of the students, they make mistake. They confuse the problem with the symptoms. I'll just give a simple example how we confuse it. Like, suppose one person goes to a doctor in a summer afternoon, right? And there is it's a very hot climate, and if the person goes to doctor in the afternoon in the summer, and the person says that I have high temperature, right? I have high temperature. So the doctor needs to understand, okay, the person has high temperature. That may be because the person may have fever, number one. Second, or the person has walked down long distance in a hot summer afternoon. Because of that, the temperature may go up. So in this case, so the symptom is the high temperature. What is the problem? Problem is the individual is not having fever. The individual has come out, has walked down a long path in a hot summer afternoon, and because of that, the temperature has gone up. I think here we make a lot of mistakes. What is the problem? Whether we can find out exactly the problems or we confuse with the symptoms. Now, once we find out the problem, okay, this first part is over. Then we need to come out with the solutions to address this particular problem. Now, the solutions, here it has to be realistic, right? It has to be rational. We cannot give some solutions out of the blue, right? If some person is having debt, so what that person can do? The person can go to the bank or take loan from the friends or mobilize some funds from some sources and pay off the debt, right? So that's a very rational and realistic thinking. But we cannot think that all of a sudden we'll get some lottery and we'll pay off the loan. I think that's no unrealistic. So we need to ensure that our thought process, when we give the solution, once the problems are identified, those are realistic and rational in nature. I think that's very important. There is another area wherein a lot of students I have seen that they make mistakes. Most of the time, they try to find out the solutions within the scope of this particular case. I think solution may lies outside of the case, right? Outside the problems given in the particular case, solution may come out beyond the scope of the case. So we need to be very, very open, right? We need to have wide perspective. The solution may come from any side, from many angles. I think that also is another area we need to look into. Now, in case of case studies, it is rightly said that it's not important what we learn at the end, but it's very important how we learn. I think that's the essence of the case. How we learn. How we learn here means the process of going through the case, the process of analyzing the industry, the process of analyzing the company, identifying the difference between problem and symptoms, then define the problem areas, right, and come out with the solutions, within the scope of the case or beyond the scope of the case. I think this journey, this learning process is very, very important. That's the real learning in the case study. So case study is a very popular, like today we talk about project-based learning, right? Small project, people say the project is a real-time activity. And in a given situation, political, economical, social, technological situation, a project is given. Now analyze the project, get some hands-on experience. I think that's another way of learning. But still, the case study is one of the very, very popular methods, and it's very effective. So let us just have a very structured way. Whatever I said, the same thing we can put it a little bit in detail in a very structured way. If we look at, I have just identified few agenda for this workshop. The number one is the problem and solution, the executive summary, brief history, industry analysis, company analysis, alternatives, and implementation. The same thing what I said, problem and solutions. Whenever any case is given, it's an open-ended case, suppose. It's an open-ended case, what generally is done. But in most of the business school, it's a closed-ended case, right? Because questions are given. The problems are given in the form of questions at the end, what students need to answer in the exams. Even in the classroom also, the same thing is exercised. But in general, in an open-ended case, how the problem and solutions, we can write down the problem statements, right? At the same time, in the form of a question, and we can put the solution just beside that at the end, so that immediately, if anybody look at it, these are the problems, the solutions. Okay. Now, the executive summary. For any case study, when we analyze the case and come out with the problem identification and the solution, I think we need to give a small executive summary. What is the essence of executive summary? Even in the project, thesis, everywhere we give the executive summary, because the senior level people, the management people, sometimes they may not have so much time to go through the complete analysis and the problem recognition part. That time they can just look at the executive summary and try to find out, okay, these are the problem areas and these are the solutions given. Okay, so that's the essence of the executive summary. Now the brief history, the business key points, okay, in case of case study. As I was talking to, see, this is a state of current affairs slide. It sets up how company has been doing. I think that's very important. I said once again, once we do a case study, it's very necessary to understand how the company is selling through, how the company is doing at present time, what kind of business environment is there. We need to do the micro analysis and the macro analysis in the environment, right? To understand, to have a feeling of the situations. I think that's very important. The key challenge area. Right? We can use many. There is a scope for using chart and the diagrams and the pie chart also in case of a case study analysis. Industry analysis, what I was talking about, that's very, very important. If you are doing the analysis, I think there is some, we can come back. I'll request all of you, be in the WhatsApp, so in case of any problem or disconnect, because it's raining, so we can always come back and continue the session. Let us not stop it. Industry analysis, as I said rightly, in which company we are doing the case study. If it is a FMCG company or IT company or pharmaceutical company, that industry as a whole, we need to do thorough analysis. That's very, very important. And what is this particular industry analysis, right? Section should highlight trends in the industry that put pressure on the company in question, have created the challenge you are solving, are disrupting or sustaining in the industry. Use standards industry analysis frameworks. I think that part I mentioned, that PACE analysis, right? The political, economical, social, technological analysis, and the Porter's 5 forces model. That's also equally very important. We do SWOT analysis also to understand the strength, weakness, opportunities, threat of the particular company. To find out the problems and come out with the solutions. Now, this is typically the Porter's 5 forces model, the macro environmental analysis, what we need to do whenever we are doing a particular case study with respect to any particular company. This, what we need to do, that we need to find out who are the competitors are there, to that company, what we are doing the case study analysis, who are the competitors, the effects of the substitutions, whether any substitute products are there in the market for the particular company's product, new entrants, there is a threat. Like today we're talking about red ocean and the blue ocean strategy, right? Whenever any new product is launched, how good that product may be, unique product may be, we find out that very next day, on 1 or 2 days, similar kind of product enters in the market. So there's a lot of threat. So we need to, so if you want to maintain our leadership position, we need to understand that the effect of substitutions, at the same time, the new entrants, the threats of new entrants, and the buyer power, right? Relevant information such as switching cost. Suppose we have existing buyers. If these buyers want to change over the product, change over their preference, or want to purchase other companies' product, what is the cost they need to incur? I think that also we need to understand, and the supplier's power. I think these 5, Porter's diamond, it is called, these 5 forces we need to analyze in details with respect to that particular industry, because the Porter's 5 forces model analysis is done with respect to one company to the particular industry. Okay. The financial performance, it's very, very important. There are many indicators are there, how the company is doing, what is the turnover, right? What is the profitability index for that company, right? All those stuff, details thing, because at the end of the day, what we are going to do, we need to give the solutions to the company, which makes the company profitable. Our company is running into losses, we make the company profitable. So this financial analysis part is very, very important part. How the company is doing and how the industry is doing as a whole, and how that particular economy, as I said in the beginning, if the company in India, so how India, what is GDP growth? okay, India, how the economy is doing well. I think that's also very, very important to analyze while analyzing a particular case study. Now, company analysis is something that if we're doing on company XYZ, so how that company is doing in that particular industry with respect to other companies which are now existing in that particular industry segment. Here in what we can do the SWOT analysis. And SWOT analysis is largely done, okay, whenever we do case studies in our classes, and now we encourage students to do the SWOT analysis. Even Porter's 5 forces analysis are also done. But we can do the product life cycle analysis, value chain analysis also, in which particular stage the product is. It is its introductory, growth, maturity, or the decline stage. Now we know in each stage, based on the BCG matrix, we have the different strategy in place wherein we can suggest, right? So there are tools are available today. But what happens, in most of the times we don't get that much time while analyzing a case. If it is a examination, we have another maximum 20 minutes to analyze a case. So how many things analyze, we can do it. But I'm talking about in classroom analysis, we can give enough time. We can give the case today to the students and tell them, okay, come prepare and do in a group and come prepared and present tomorrow. So they get enough time to all these analysis, the ratio analysis, the ANSOP matrix, everything they can do it. They can make use of chart, graphs, okay, and pie chart and do a wonderful presentation for this. Key success factor. We know that the contemporary strategy analysis by Robert M. Grant. Okay, he has done given one chart to all of us how we can do the this customer analysis, the company analysis. If we look at, we'll find out that there is no feature the competition provides and the key success factors, right? So any product, if we take, we can always find out the, okay, we can always find out the key success factors for that. Okay, I think okay, so I think there is again some technical problem, some network issue is there. That's what my concern is always. Some or other kind of analysis. And today, sometimes you put on a also it stands for limitations. But analysis stands for because there may be no laws and specific company to perform it. So these for analysis is very much. How many options? Now, whenever you find out the problem and how the solution, to find out the alternate solutions. There may be 3, 4, 5, 6 different solutions. If you do a company all this, option number 1, option 1 is the raw, and each you do it, again, you may achieve the solution. Also, you can have that and it is the third way. Recommendation. I think and that's the condition how you can image and also very important. Right? How do you communicate that, right? So what kind of communications plan we have to communicate to the management? These are the problems and these are the probable solutions are there. Okay, I think again, I think problem is briefly is the case study. Okay, we all as a teacher have been doing the case studies for our students, and we have encountered the multiple challenges while doing the case study, and some of the challenges I have experienced, I have touched upon, and I believe that similar kind of problems, okay, all of you must have while doing exercising the case studies in the class. So I'll request that probably some of you can raise some questions that we can take the questions here. Okay, we have Suganya